All right. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Mad Shaky, Clint, Don, John, Sebastian, Elite, Polly. Good morning to you all. Reversals are my bread and butter, and I don't know what a monkey hammer is still to this day. People keep bringing it up. But I do like reversals, and I like the trend. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world. Hope you're doing well. I've started over the song on accident. Here we go. All right. Just a reminder, this is not financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education and informational purposes only without any express implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. Good deal. All right. We've got some interesting things popping up. Today was PPI, yesterday was CPI, and the chart's looking pretty decent as far as templates and what we're looking for and the things that could happen today. So we've got Monday opening range for the week. Yesterday did not close in breakout on the NASDAQ. It actually closed as a failed breakout and ended up turning into a first red day where they've opened the day. They attempted to go higher, and then they closed below yesterday's close as well as the closing price from yesterday and also the opening price from the current day from yesterday. Okay, so that's really good. As far as templates go, now we have a peak formation low, peak formation high, low of week, high of week put in place. We get a first red day on Tuesday. That's green instead of red. Let's get the red up there. There we go. So we've got a first red day. Now this is it's not a breakout market. Okay. This was for example, like if this was the opening range for the week, yesterday closed in breakout, and then Wednesday was a first red day, I'd be a lot more concerned with, oh, maybe this is breakout pullback, and then I have to worry about the first red day trap. And I still have to worry about the first red day trap. I'm just not going to. We've got a peak formation low, peak formation high, and a first red day. We do have the consolidation in the middle and a lower low on the inside of the current week's range. This is the only thing I'm going to look for. Okay. On the day itself, I would need to see the market break down and start making lower lows and lower highs. The fact that this is broken down and then broken out to the upside, we are now at the high of the current day. I'm still going to be watching this. I think this is a valid and important instrument to be watching because of these facts. We have the lower low here. So in reality, the trade setup may have already played out. First red day. Really, this should be going back to day 1, 3-day cycle. Day 2, peak formation low, peak formation high. We'll see. Okay, yesterday was first red. I'm kind of worried about the peak formation low, peak formation high. This could have been a higher high. And then now we've pulled back. I don't want to try and short something just because it's a first red day. Okay. Cool. Let's go on to US 30. US 30 has been going down, and then we had a first green on Monday. So kind of similarly, we had peak formation low, peak formation high. And then instead of closing back on the inside yesterday, we had an opening range breakout to the downside. All right, so we've closed in breakout on a Tuesday. We've expanded down. So whenever this happens, I project this level across. Now, something I will note is that we've already broken out earlier in the day. So we had a breakout. They tried to go lower again. This turned into a bit of a consolidation. And then now we've broken back up to the upside. Push 1, push 2, push 3. We're at the level. However, notice how they're putting in the higher lows and dragging higher. They may be trapping shorts. So we're at the high of the day. We're at levels. We're at the things that need to be watched. It's my job now just to sit and wait and watch. Okay. Again, with this, I would need to see it essentially make a high, pull back. We've pulled back now to a low. They need to break and make a higher high, which would validate this as a low. They need to break lower. They need to pull back somehow, some way, 3 pushes, whatever. And then I would look for a short trade to go back down. Do I think that's going to happen? I have no idea. let's go on to gold. Okay, gold, I think, is a little bit more clear and has decent potential because we've had a breakout. We've had multiple days of breakout. We had peak formation low put in place from last Wednesday, breakout day 1, breakout day 2, 3 days of longs triggered in, first red day. Evolution of the template, opening range breakout now down. So we've had an opening range breakout now to the downside, which tells me exactly what to look for. We've pumped up into that level once, twice, possibly a third time and made lower lows on the day. This one has potential to me. And I would take this back to where the pump began, which is the low of the week, the low of Tuesday. Okay, do I think that's going to happen? I have no idea. But I can wait and watch. All right, so I've got the, what is this, higher high here. So this is where the lower low is put in place. Okay, I'm going to track this down, which would have made this the high, low, pullback, lower high, lower low. So this is my high right now. So I'm going to leave it just like this. Just to remind myself. We'll go on to the Russell. We've got about 8 minutes now till the open. It's looking like the Russell is fairly similar. Opening range, peak formation low, attempt to go higher. First red day, breakout day 1 down. This is a fairly large decline day. And similar to some of the other indexes, we've got the consolidation down low, the lower low, they've triggered previous day's low. The breakout over the course of 2 days has possibly failed, so I have to be very careful of that. Same thing here on NASDAQ. Honestly, same thing here on US 30. So pretty much all indexes, I have to be very careful that the breakout has not failed over the course of 2 days. NASDAQ, not as much because this, well, it's not broken out. We got a failed breakout. US 30 and the Russell, though, I need to be careful that this breakout is not going to fail over the course of 2 days. Let's go to oil. First red day for a Monday and a consolidated day yesterday. I know you all were with me when I was trying to short this. It just wasn't ready to go. Eventually it did go back to the low of the day, which was the trade. It just didn't do it in a nice way, unfortunately. So this was first red, breakout day 1 down. And then from breakout day 1, I would have been looking for a pop-up for a high of day sell. High of day sell came in London. It broke out of previous day's lows. The bottom of the box becomes the top of the box. And I would then be looking for a sell high setup from that level. And then it broke down and continued to go lower. And now we're at the low of the day and I have no setup. Okay. I have no setup. Reason being, trade, selling short at the low of the day to try and get lower. That's not usually what I do. All right. We've got 5 minutes. Anything you all want to see? Is there anything you all want to see before I start watching paint dry? Or maybe while I'm watching paint dry, it doesn't matter. Get this up here like this. We'll get this up here like that. BTC. I knew. I just had a feeling BTC would be the one. Okay. Since I took this trade on silver yesterday, how is silver doing? Very, very, very similar to gold. Not even worth watching separate from gold. I'm just going to leave gold. I am going to watch the other index just to see. Between these four, if I can find something, great. If not, also great. Euro USD yesterday. Let's go down here. And I'm going to, BTC was first, so I'm going to say that. We'll go through that first. Where's my BTC futures? There we go. Zoom out. All right, we had 3 days of breakouts. It looks like 1, 2, 3. Then we had a breakout day, first red day, breakout day 1 yesterday on Tuesday. And that's the setup that I look for a trend trade in most cases. So really the only thing that I could do is breakout pullback. We're at the level. They have broken down and made lower lows. I would want to see this breakout. Basically, I would want to see them put in a peak above the breakout level and fail something down like this. That's what I'd be waiting for if I was going to trade that. Do I think that's ideal? No. Euro USD. Well, let's go look at the template. If there's an actual template that would have prepped for that. Oh, well, you got a breakout, right? Lower low. This is a reset. Inside bar. So this is the expansion of the inside bar. Let's do this. So it was an inside bar setup. Do I think that it was, is how replicatable is that? I don't know. But this is very similar to like the silver setup that I took yesterday. It just took place over 3 days. How do you know? First red day traps, I look for in a breakout market. So if we're coming off of, for example, like this right here, right? We're in a down move. Oh, actually not like this here because we're not in breakout. I look for it in breakout markets. So if we're in like an opening range breakout of Monday or just a market that's trending, and then you get an up close bar and a down moving market, something like that, I'll look for the trap. Otherwise, I'm just going to continuously look for the first red and first green day. So like this is first red day. We're not in a breakout market because we were going down, which could have just been a pullback. And then a breakout that failed to go higher. But if this would have closed in breakout higher, and then maybe today turned into a first red, in what I believe to be the start of a potentially very strong trend, I would look for the trap. Early on, you made a video. Everything is accumulation, distribution, same cycle. No, it's all the same. It's the same stuff. I just explained the same thing over and over again in different ways, but it's all the same stuff. Whether you look at it from a Wyckoff perspective of accumulation, markup, distribution, markdown, or if you look at it in BTMM, which is very similar to Wyckoff, peak formation, and I'm just using different words now, right? Peak formation, aka accumulation, followed by 3 levels of rise, aka your markup, followed by distribution, aka your level 3 peak formation, markdown, which is also, again, 3 levels of drop, and so forth. It's all the same stuff. I see it the same exact way. I'm just using different words to describe it to hopefully resonate with more people. To hopefully better explain by doing it that way. Yeah. And lately I've been really trying just to gravitate more towards calling them swings. Although I think I do say peak formation a lot because that's just what I'm used to saying. But in reality, all a peak formation is a higher high or a lower low. Could even be a lower high or a higher low. Yeah, I try to. And I think maybe that sometimes confuses other people. So maybe me doing that, maybe I should just be more consistent in what I call things. But I just know that a lot of people come from lots of different trading backgrounds. So if they hear the term that they're used to hearing and they see it described in a way that they're trying to learn, it's like, oh, well, now it resonates better, or maybe it translates better for them. That was my thought process in doing that, but, you know, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Okay, we've got 3 pushes back up, at least, I'm thinking. Right, we've got lifting price, 1, 2, maybe a third attempt. It's now 930, US 30. We've got the lower low down here. And the pop-up, we start letting shorts out. We break back down below this breakout level. We break that back down below the low of day, or high of day, excuse me. We start allowing shorts to make money. I will become much more interested. Yeah, so the reason I always beat the market as fractal like a dead horse, I don't even know what that phrase really means. I just hear people say it. Is all the concepts that you could imagine on a monthly chart, whether it be Wyckoff or Elliott Wave or market structure or anything, right? Anything that's happening on a higher time frame is happening on a lower time frame far more frequently. Any of it. All of it. So yes, Wyckoff is definitely going to be exactly the same on a lower time frame. It's going to happen on all time frames. All this stuff happens on all time frames. There's a daily cycle. There's a multi-day cycle. There is a monthly cycle. Are you taking trades only at high of month, high of week, high of... So it depends. Think about trades that are already in process. For example, I come to the screen and in London, they've already broken down off of the high, and that was the lower low. So I would be getting in, it's a high of day trade, so I'm going back to the low of the day, but the peak, the high was already put in place in a previous session, and I'm getting in on the first pullback, but I'm still taking a high of day trade. It's coming off of the high of the day, and I'm going back towards the low of the day. And the same thing would apply for anything. And you have to think about it in terms of, again, we'll go back to the poll that I put in today. And we got 1 minute to this bar closes. I'm becoming far more interested in this. So I might have to cut out for a second and go and maybe execute. Hold on. I actually got to get my stuff pulled up because I'm slacking. Gold's looking good too. All right, I got my stuff pulled up, which is good. I needed to get it pulled up. All right, we're into the second 5 minutes now. I'm highly interested in these 3. All of them. All 3 of them. I think they all 3 have very good potential. Beats, I'm going to come back to your question, but I need to focus first. Just a brief moment. If I forget, remind me. I'll come back to it. basically the gold is the only one that is still potentially, a part of an actual template that I'd be willing or capable of trading in the moment, right? Because we're making lower lows and lower highs. We're in breakout down. We've got put P1, P2, possibly P3. We get the engulfment, so I'm saying somewhat objectively this is P2. So we should have traps above here. I don't really want to chase it though. I don't want to chase it. This is a breakout fake out bar, which means we should be looking at a flush. If that's what this is, we should be looking at a flush. Okay, a possible flush coming in. One minute, 40 seconds on this bar. I want to see this thing accelerate. At least back down to closing price would be good. Gold did or silver did accelerate. Interesting. I don't really want to chase this, but it's also kind of seems like it's just going to follow through. I think I might be willing just to miss the trade. If it does just follow through without me, then I'm just going to miss it. And that's just what I'm going to do. That's my plan. That's my game plan. If it follows through without pulling back at all, I miss it. Because I would have to risk, if I entered here, or even if I entered down here, I would have to risk 60 pips on the stop. I'm not willing to do that. My risk to reward just wouldn't be good enough. I would have a negative risk. Or like 1-to-1. I've got my my NASDAQ 1 minute up right now. And I'm also watching US 30 to see how it's developing. 1 minute chart's not even making lower lows and lower highs. I guess it did break down, make a lower low here. Made another one there, and then I went back to a higher high, which potentially failed, but the 1 minute chart's not super reliable for that stuff. So you gotta, I mainly just look at the 5. Okay, NASDAQ at closing price, broken down, gone sideways. Interesting. Ooh, very interesting, actually. Are they trapping the Dookie out of shorts? Dookie trapping. Let's see. Yeah, they look like they're about to wick into everyone. They're about to claim some souls on NASDAQ. I've got a bad feeling about shorting that in the moment, right this very second. That might change, obviously. Ooh, okay. What is gold doing? Yeah, everything's getting whipped back and forth. And the way that this has came down and they curled it right back into the low. The way that they curled it back into the low, this bar says it's going lower. If it stops right here, that's concerning. Right? Lost momentum right at the low, right when they trigger everybody in. US 30 falling through a little bit. NASDAQ looks like maybe. Okay, I'm short on gold. I've got a 1.5 point stop. That's pretty tight. But it's in line with my thesis. And I did exactly what I said I was going to do, which is not chase. I waited for it to pull back. So if I get stopped out, I'm not going to be upset. I might get stopped out, honestly, almost immediately. They've opened the spread. They're sitting at the low with the spread open. Yeah, it's playing games. Look, they've just opened the spread up again. They're working the low and opened up the spread. It is playing every game in the book. Oh my gosh. Somehow I managed to hold on through that. I'm now at break even, and I've just taken one of my contracts off. All right, good lord. We're scooting along now. All right, I'm looking for it to push through closing price, back down to and through previous day's low. And that's what I'm going to hold for. I'm not going to touch it. Jean, can you share your... Sorry, I got kind of quiet there because we were at that like weird entry point where if it were to fluctuate, they're going to take me out. So I wanted to sit here and kind of stare at it for a second, but and we just came down and spiked into closing price. I'm hoping it actually follows through and we don't get a bounce off of this thing. Because if they bounce, they're going to take me out. But I've taken off a majority of my size, so I'm not really... Do I think I entered late? No, I actually think I did a very good job on gold. I think I actually did phenomenal. I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I waited for the pullback, which actually turned into a bit of a pin hammer. All right, so we've broken down and we got the pin hammer. This was an attempt to go up and it failed. All right, I just got taken out at break even. I'm going to show you what I did. They came down. This bar formed. I was going to wait for it to follow through, and then it didn't, so I brought my stops down above this bar, and it took me out. I think I played this extremely well because this little pullback right here gave me a way to get in, and I got in, I think, on this bar here. All right, and that allowed me to put my stop in place, which wasn't much. and then it followed through, and I got out, and then I just got out again. So it really doesn't look like much because it's not. That's actually nothing. I thought it was a lot more. I see. I should have been focusing more on NQ, it looks like. Well, that's all right. Still not bad. I mean, it was not great. Let me check on here. How much did I actually... Distance-wise, where did I get in right here? Nice. Yeah, so for gold, that was not a lot at all. That's rough. Win's a win, yeah. I think it was probably... It's only like 30 ticks. That was a lot of stress for 30 ticks. Jean, can you share your closing price indicator? So it is a open, high, low, close indicator. And this is it right here. Time is 9:53, so we've got 7 minutes to a new hour. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for that new hour. I'm basically, because that didn't go very far, and I thought it was moving a lot further than it did. And from looking at this chart, it kind of seemed like maybe it was. I basically break even for the day. And that was on 2 minis. I wasn't even on micros. I was on 2 minis. I looked up at my P&L. I was like, it's kind of disappointing. Whatever. Between minis and micros, Paulie? The tick value is much higher. So per tick, I think on gold is like $12 or something like that, or $10 for a mini. But for a micro, I think it's, what is it, $1? Might be more than $1 on a micro. Yeah, William, thank you. Yeah, it is $1. Yeah, micros are really good, and you can stack. You can stack an insane amount. I think 10 micros. 10 micros is like the equivalent of a mini, which allows you to scale in and out a little bit better. I just scale in and out with minis though, most of the time, unless my stop is too big, then I'll go down to micros. The commission on any of these contracts is not very high. That's why I love futures, because your in and out cost is very low. And then, you know, the spread is really small, which is nice. Compared to when I was trading Forex, it was like every trade I took, I looked at the, or even like with American brokers, you know, you've got the spread for these American brokers, and you look at it and you're just like, how is anyone ever profitable with a spread that big? How do you size into something with a spread that big? Unless you're swing trading, I guess, and that's fine. Well, we kind of immediately went back into this chop. I had posted a pic in Discord practicing NAS from what Steve says to draw the levels, and based off the levels where I think price is going to go. I use signal days in the weekly template. Okay. So you got a little study binder being built, Gaines. And just remember, it's not really about where you think price is going to go. And I know that seems odd, right? It's like, well, isn't that how you would make money? Is if you are predicting or whatever where price is going to go? No. It's the template. It's the, you know, asking yourself the right questions about where I'm at. Let's see. NQ. That's good, Gaines. That's what I like to hear. And I haven't made a long form video in a while. But I kind of got to the point where I was just saying the same thing over and over again, which I think that people appreciate. But I almost think it would be better if I just focused on doing these live streams, because the videos are going to be there forever, right? So you can go and watch all the videos and then tune into the live streams. And I think that'd probably be pretty good. It's like learning and practical application all in one place. And it's all for free, which is even better, because I think most people charge an insane amount of money to do stuff like this. I was really hoping that, you know, maybe this would, I mean, this is looking decent. We've got push one, pause to a second push, maybe a pause. Maybe we're going to get a third push on this new bars open to complete the pattern. Is that far enough for me to take a trade? What is my risk going to be? That's only 32 pips to get to the low. Now, I could do low of day. What? Stop that. I could do low of day minus 25. And that would put us down here. But I really don't like how this is moving on a 1 minute chart. Drop, consolidate. Drop, consolidate. Drop, reverse. Middle finger everybody and just go right back up. I don't know. Higher high. This was a lower low. That's my breakout level. We're back below that. US 30 goes to the top of my list. Yeah, YM goes to the top of my list. And I have a feeling that if I looked at an EMA, this was probably tracking up. And now we're consolidating just below. Going to need to see signs of follow through though. We got about 70 people in here this morning. That's fantastic. If y'all could just do me a huge favor, if you're somebody that lurks in the background and you're here every morning, say hi. It's just nice to, chit chat with everybody. Like the stream. I have it set to only subscriber mode, so you're in a group of people that are also, tuned into the channel. So this is a good place to kind of share thoughts and get better with one another. It's not a massive, if there was thousands of people in here, it'd be kind of annoying, but this is good. It's like we got a little small community going. It's good. Is there anything you're learning about? Talking about like trading wise gains? Gains, I'm kind of, you eventually get to a point where you don't want to learn any more about trading. The only time I look at anything trading related is in the morning when you all see me trading here on the stream. And then I go on with my day and I go and work out. And then I have to mow the yard today. Every day is leg day. Actually, I did overhead press yesterday. But I do squat, I think, 3 or 4 times a week. I am watching US 30 very closely. Yeah, the stash has to get some curls in too. Yeah, I gotta flick it up or whatever. A funny thing happened. We got a squats help with, yeah, it's true. They do. Supposedly, right? Supposedly squats are like the #1 producer of they help you produce more testosterone or whatever. There you go, Nelly. US 30 doesn't seem to want to give it up. It's just I was right there with you, Shaky. If it breaks the low, we'll be selling small. So we had the breakdown and the sideways. If we continue to push lower, I'd be looking to get in. It's just not doing that. Instead, I'm just sitting here running my mouth about my mustache and I guess squatting. Yeah, my problem, Nikolai, is my squat, my bench, and my deadlift have always been pretty decent, I think. My bench is right around, it's hovering around 300. My squat is hovering around 4. And my deadlift is hovering just around, right around 500. My overhead press is so unbelievably bad. I've been working on it, though. I've been trying to get it up. I'm trying to get it up over 200. Lurker and learner. Heck yeah, that's what I like to hear. So if you look down over here, got like this little triangle ordeal going on. I call it a Dorito. It looks like a little tortilla chip. My dogs are good. I don't keep them in here with me. when I'm doing these streams and when I'm trading, because I have this really nice, it's beautiful, this big window in my office. And they like to look outside of it and bark a lot. So I've been keeping them in the living room. How do I get back to, we're going to go back to here. We are 7 minutes into a 15-minute bar. That is the halfway point, just about, of that bar. And you'll see a lot of moves begin around that time. We're also 7 minutes into an hour, and you'll see a lot of moves occur in the first 15 minutes of the hour. What's the difference between a limit order and a stop order? Or a stop order is you put it ahead of price so that it can drag you in. A limit order is you put it, so if I want to go short, I would put it above price and allow price to come back to it and then go, hopefully, in my direction. Whereas a stop order, I would be putting it here because I believe the market will go lower. And hopefully that's a decent explanation. Look what they've just done. They just wicked down outside of this little pattern here. This was a little symmetrical triangle of annoyance. I really don't like those. They broke out of it on a 1 minute chart. And then now they've wicked back up. They've also put in these little wicks on this candle here, and they've just came down and failed to go lower. So this, I'd like to see it, this bar come back up, because this 1 minute bar going back up, oh, it's going to break back out. Ooh, that's interesting. And then if it runs, but I don't think it's going to. I mean, I don't know, maybe it will. But this would turn this into essentially a triple bottom. We might see a pullback first before it goes lower. Or even if it goes lower, you know, this could be, like Nelly, like you just said, it could be a day 3 reset. And we might be seeing consolidation. And then I'll just end my day break even. That's fine. Break even plus a little bit. Something really funny happened this morning. I've got a new neighbor. I just moved here. I just bought this house not long ago. We moved here in March. And we got a new neighbor. And I have never spoke to them ever in my life. They actually, I think they just got there. And they came over at 8 a.m. and asked for a ladder. And I was like, huh. It's 8 o'clock in the morning and I've never met you. But yeah, I'll get you a ladder. No, I'm in Southwest Florida. Yeah, Shaky, I think that might have been a little premature. That's a big reason I didn't want to get in, because I saw you say that and I didn't want to say anything, because if I was wrong, you know, maybe I'll shake you out of your own position. But this creep is usually pretty scary. Did they apologize for coming over so early? No. But that's okay. They needed help, so I helped. But I did think it was funny. Neighbors are the worst. I guess if you have the right neighbors, you know, if you've got a good neighbor, The little State Farm jingle just went through my head. But if you've got good neighbors, it's fine. You know, if they're, I think to me, a good neighbor is quiet and keeps to themselves. Those are the best. And also if they don't mow their yard at 1 a.m. I used to live next to a guy, he would that is true. Love thy neighbor. Yep. But that's not just your physical neighbor, of course. That's, you're supposed to just have a love for everybody, all people. Yeah, I used to live next to a guy. He was an older gentleman, and I think he was a Vietnam War veteran, and he would mow his yard at 1 a.m. Nice guy, though. Maybe I need to, I'll try and talk a little bit louder. How about that? Love from a distance. Yeah. I mean, that's me in a nutshell. All right, so we kind of got this little spike up. We got a spike down. Failed to go lower. It's popping back up. Maybe we see it roll over. That'd be good. Kind of looks like it's about to double bottom, though. Are we sitting on, yeah, and we're sitting right on top of that breakout level now. Our nearest neighbor is a quarter-mile away. See, William, I really like where I lived in South Carolina. My neighbors, I had a neighbor behind me, and they had 10 acres of land. I had a neighbor next to me, and they had 2 or 3 acres, and then I had 2 or 3 acres. So we were together, but we were very far apart, which was nice. The only bad thing about where that was is the closest anything was 30 minutes away. There was a gas station that was like 15, but still, you know. Oh, nice. It's a beautiful area. I rode my bike down Pikes Peak, William. It was a lot of fun. There was like a tour where they drive you up to the top of Pikes Peak in a van, and then they just give you a bike and basically say, you know, be safe, and just you kind of just ride your bike down the mountain. It was a lot of fun. I'm still watching. I know I'm just sitting here running my mouth about literally nothing important, but there's nothing else for me to really do except for watch. So I might as well chat about something interesting, or at least try to. NASDAQ, once we start letting the shorts back out, if this breakout fails, we might see a flush. Same thing on US 30. If the breakout fails, we might see a flush. That's really what I'm waiting for. If anybody was in here only cares about trading content and you're just like, please just say something about trading, that's what I'm waiting for. Sounds like heaven. Yeah, Colorado's beautiful. Colorado is really, really pretty area. I just can't deal with cold. That's my only thing. I was going to, we were heavily thinking about moving to Tennessee, and then her and I both came to the conclusion that we are like little lizards and we like the warm, and so we came to Florida instead. What did you have for breakfast? I haven't ate yet, Carlo. I need to, though, desperately. I've had about 600 milligrams of caffeine for breakfast. It's probably not healthy. Wow, this is insane. This is boring. Look at this. Sideways, 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 sideways. Do I smoke? No. I do not. I don't drink either. Park City, Utah. I think I've only driven through Utah. I didn't stop for anything. I've been to, let's see. The only states that I'm missing are Washington State, Hawaii, Alaska, and Oregon. So I'm missing 4. Do I use creatine? Yes. There was a recent study that supposedly, you're supposed to take, 5 milligrams a day for creatine? There's a recent study that says that if you're a bit heavier, and me being 6'2" and almost now 200 pounds, it's okay to go up to 10 milligrams. That's actually beneficial. So I've been upping my creatine intake by a little bit. They used to say you could do like a 10 milligram loading phase of creatine, and then you're supposed to back off to 5. But if you're a little bit bigger, supposedly, it's okay to do 10. So I've been doing closer to 10. Well, you're bigger than me, Nikolai. 106 kilograms, that's what, like 225-ish pounds? Maybe? 225-ish. I'm not good with kilograms. Forgive me. Oh my goodness. The back and forth on this thing is insane. I've heard there's a lot of money in Utah, but that a lot of the people are very odd. That's just what I've heard. I don't know if that's true. The money part, I believe. The odd people, I don't know. Paul, you have a good one. Hopefully, see you tomorrow. Is Salt Lake City in Utah? Yes, Shaky. See you tomorrow, Mustang. Yeah, I'm going to be doing the same time tomorrow. And I should be doing it the same time every day for all of you that are here. So interesting. You still open to take a trade? Yes, I am. I am still open, but am I likely? That's really the question. Nipsey. Well, I've never heard anything about it in the news, so maybe it's, not as bad as whatever you just called it. Okay, here we go. Honestly, just do something. Whether we start spiking up or we start spiking down, let's just do something. Let's just get out of this bar's range, this high and low. We got to go somewhere. You know? I'm not even talking about me wanting to take a trade. I just want the thing to move. Just go somewhere. We're about to make a bullish pin hammer on US 30. Maybe. Some like up close bar. Like a pin hammer. Maybe. I was more interested in it because if this was like a breakout fake out bar and they ran it up like this and the next bar formed and went straight down, I'd be highly interested because they go, okay, this is the first pullback. This is my anchor. This was the fake out. You know, we just made a lower low. This is the first pullback. This was the fake out. And now maybe we're ready to make the second leg of a move. You know what I mean? Oh, okay. 1 minute, 40 seconds left on this bar. I'm hydrated. I've got 1 minute, 40 seconds. I'm going to run. I'm coming right back. Okay. I'm back. I am back. 13 seconds on this bar. I agree. It's very interesting. Very interesting. US 30 just put that massive bar back down, indicating strength to the downside. Does it follow through? Or does it tell us something else? Does it tell us a different story? I am currently short on US 30. I've got a very small stop. Because if this is the third push to the low without it following through, then I'm going to get taken out immediately. If it continues to follow through, I'm going to add in. And I'm going to take this thing down to one of these lows. Maybe the low of the day. It's kind of late in the session to take it all the way back to the low of the day. we'll see. Even if they take me out, I'll still be up for the day. So I'm really not basically a padded. See how we've got push 1, P2, push 3, and an immediate loss of momentum. This bar needs to follow through. Either this bar turns into a pin hammer and the next bar follows through, or this bar follows through. One of those two things needs to happen. The sound is gone. Can you hear me now? It's like a Verizon commercial. Pick up the mic, you know. Can you hear me now? I'm going to get copyrighted for saying that. All right, good. Okay, stop is very tight. I'm not up a lot today, but I have padded my position. But I also don't want to, you know, turn around and go into a loss. It's a decent setup. If I lose this trade, I am 100% not upset because this is very clearly and very neatly P1, P2, P3. We're in breakout down. We've gone 3 levels of rise. We've made a lower low. We're in the first pullback. We have an engulfment. I've entered the trade. If it takes me out, I'm not mad. Holy cow. I mean, what else could I possibly ask for? It's perfect. If it doesn't play out, it's okay. Yeah, it might, exactly. Like, it might flush the low, and then we might see a really quick move back down. I've got a 57-point target, which is, you know, not bad. This thing is killing me. It's crushing my soul. Not really, but honestly, either stop me out or go. I don't care at this point. Just do something. We've gone sideways on the inside of this bar's range for 1, 2, 3, 5 minutes. We're just sitting on the inside of here. Can't go up, can't go down. Which means it's probably going to go back up and stop me out. But if that happens, no big deal. You know, it really doesn't matter. Okay, they've just came within like a tick of stopping me out. Maybe like 2 ticks. So if this pins down, and doesn't, you know, it fails to go lower again, they're probably going to go up and hit me. Immediate inside bar. Please move. Please come out of the consolidation, either up or down. It's taking out all the, yeah. Yep. NQ is sneaking. Yeah, it's sneaking up like it's going to continue to drag higher, and it's putting these higher lows. And this is kind of doing the same. All right, they just took me out. Very well. Basically a break-even day. I'm not mad about it. What else could I do? Higher high, lower low, first pullback. Signs of continuation. This bar also allowed shorts to make money. So I entered. They also followed through like this, putting us back below the breakout level. So it was a good trade. I'm not mad about it at all. Gold finally got down there. Finally got to previous day's low. All right. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, with that break-even day, I think I'm going to close things out here. We're going to come back tomorrow and do it all over again. And hopefully we have a more fast-paced day tomorrow. Because sitting in consolidation for over an hour is just frustrating. Not even frustrating, it's just boring. It makes me feel like I'm not even waiting for anything. Like I'm just sitting here doing nothing. All right. Hopefully you all are getting something out of these streams. Same people showing up every day, plus maybe one or two here and there. Hopefully it's helping. Had a lot of you say already that it's helping you stay focused and stay like, you know, really take it serious instead of just kind of, you're on your own. There's no accountability. Which is really good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have a good rest of your day. I'm going to get some food in me. I'm going to work out, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.